What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage action figure. As you guys can see, we have a big ass box containing a big ass figure. And there's been a bit of controversy surrounding this figure, but today we're going to take a look at the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly as we discuss it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now for the box, as you guys can see, it is completely windowless. Marvel Legends fans probably doing the Arthur fist just looking at this, but we have this dope image of Carnage right here on the front. As you guys can see in silver letters right there, it's very reflective actually. It does say Carnage, let there be carnage. Actually, that's Venom right there. But I really love this image. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It says Venom, let there be carnage right there. Again, Marvel, I don't know what that says. Tamashii Nations, Bandai. And then we've got some images along the sides here. We got a full body image of him turned around, basically with the symbiote protruding out of his back. It does say SH Figuarts right there. On this side over here, just more images, still looking really good. Nothing much on the bottom. We got a dope image though. At the top, nothing really going on at all. And then again, this box is big, and then my space is small, and I'm sorry I just hit the camera. But anyway, we do have some more images on the back of the figure and some poses you can get him into. This thing looks really dang good. At the bottom, you got some stuff I cannot read because I imported this figure. But anyway, let's stop wasting time and go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Now, straight out of the packaging, the first thing I want to say about this figure is that it is much too big for my liking. Now, I don't mean that as a con, simply because, I mean, he is huge in the movie. Why they did that, I have no idea. I guess Sony saw Carnage as the bigger, the badder. That makes him seem like more of a threat, which, I don't know. I always thought that Carnage was such a badass villain because of the fact that he's smaller, but he's more dangerous. And I know this has nothing to do with Marvel, but if you guys watch Dragon Ball Z, the creator Akira Toriyama even said that he made Frieza in his final form smaller because he wanted you to think that he was less of a threat until he showed his capabilities. That's kind of how I see Carnage. So scaling him up to this size or this height in the movie, I thought was completely unnecessary. But still, it is a really dope looking figure, man. It's painted very nicely. It does have some issues in which I will discuss in just a second, but one other thing I want to throw out there before I move on to the details is I did change my lighting in the videos a bit. I added a few more lights to kind of contrast the backside and the sides of the figure, and I want to know, what do you guys think about it? I'm probably going to keep it this way for the rest of the review, but if you guys do like how it looks on my other reviews better, just let me know. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this guy so we can examine the details. Now, taking an up-close look at this figure, here's where you get to see why this figure costed as much as it did. For one, the height, which we'll get into a bit more later, but also there is a ton of sculpt work going on with this guy. Starting with pretty much from the chest down, man. There's even behind all of the painted black lines that are on him, there's so much sculpt work going on. Like, it truly looks like someone is manifested in symbiote, and I really dig it, man. They did such a good job. I can't tell whether there's a ton of shading, maybe black wash, or maybe it's just the sculpt work. I'm pretty sure it's a ton of shading. I might just be tripping, but there's so much that your eye is drawn to when you look at this figure. It's hard to tell. I can't tell whether they use the same reds for most of the figure. Obviously, it's different in certain areas, like around here, around the arms, but for the most part, it looks like it's one solid red. Now, the body, again, is just covered in detail from head to toe. Now, I do want to go up and take a look at the head sculpt. I wanted to save this part because this is what we really need to talk about. First off, it is the softest part of the figure. If you look at it, you can just see it, man. The head sculpt does not look nearly as detailed as the rest of the body. It almost looks like this head sculpt belongs on a different Carnage. Now, I think there's a reason behind that, because this is the issue that most people have with this figure. When it was first released, everyone was upset about the fact that they didn't add nearly as much black line work above and around the eyes as they were supposed to. Why Tamashii Nation showed that in the prototype and then absolutely just dismissed it when releasing the figure or producing the figure, I have no idea, man, but it definitely takes away from the look of it for sure. And this figure was, I think, $150, man, so they shouldn't have been skipping out on anything they showed in those promo images, especially considering the fact that no one was complaining. They looked amazing. So I don't know why they skipped out on that line work, that extra painting that really would have just made this figure pop, especially considering the fact that black, red, and white is my favorite color combination, and they just look so great together. The teeth are extremely yellow. My guy has not seen a toothbrush in ages. But then moving all the way down to the feet, they look good, man. Everything else on this figure looks superb. And one other thing I want to throw out is that I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but most of the figure is red, of course. And then you look at the hands where the claws are, it kind of looks like they painted that in almost like an orangish color, but there is some black line work in there, some black wash, all of that to just really make this figure pop. So overall, the body is great. The head sculpt is definitely lackluster. Now I'm sure you guys can look at this figure from just the camera and tell how large it is, but to give you guys the accurate height, look at this, man. To the top of his head, this guy is pushing 8 inches. Now, as we all know, McFarlane does 7-inch scale figures. The fact that this guy is pushing 8 inches just really goes to show how tall he is. And I can't wait to get into the size comparisons so you guys can really see what he looks like stacked up with other figures. Now moving into what's going to make this figure fun, starting off with the articulation. He looks up all the way, but when you look up, that's what you get. So just be wary of that. There is a complete separation going on there. I don't know any way they could have done that better, but as you guys can see, it's on this little small peg, but then it's also on a hinge here. So I feel like maybe if they move the ball in the neck forward a little bit, that might would have helped, but then it probably would have limited the articulation, making him look down, and that's about as much as he can look down. Now he does get tilt, turn, all kind of rocker. You can make Carnage be very expressive, so that works well. Arms go up and out about this much. So and this guy got reach, yo. Look at that, man. This dude can reach across my whole entire screen. He does have butterfly joints that are very effective. So if you want to get him, I don't know, strangling somebody, you can. You just kind of have to play with it a little bit. You kind of have to tuck the arms back, but you can bring him in about that much, which I think is fine. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows that also work very well. The hands move around freely. A little bit of hindrance, but not too bad. It's about what you would expect, so that's good. At the diaphragm, doesn't work the best, but it's probably because it's pushing against these here. But he leans forward about that much, back about that much, does get rocker in all kinds of turn, and then he does get the same at the waist, but if you turn it too much, it is going to pop off. I think Venom had that issue also. You can turn it, you just have to kind of hold it in place as you're turning it so that it doesn't pop off. But yeah, a ton of movement there. Not the most. I would definitely like a little bit more considering the price point of this figure, but it does work. In terms of kicking, he can hit the launchers. I don't think Carnage has ever kicked anybody, but I mean, if you want him to, he can. Kicks back about that much. If you do the splits, the legs will pop off. Well, this one anyway. I haven't had any issues with the other, but it does pop back on, and then there you go. It's just this one. I don't know what it is. For whatever reason, the right leg does pop off. But he does have thigh swivel, double jointed knees. Don't look the best, but they're not bad at all. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then he has a fully fluid toe hinge. So articulation wise, definitely a 9 out of 10 for sure. I just wish we got a tad bit more in the torso. Now, when it comes to the accessories, you get a ton of stuff with this guy. First off, he comes with this neutral smiling head sculpt right out of the package and a pair of almost claw-like hands, but it's hard to call them that because he comes with an interchangeable set of hands that are more on the clawing-ish side. So I will call these, I guess, more relaxed. These would be the claw hands, and then he does come with a pair of fist hands as well, which these things are also huge, man. If he punches you, it's a wrap. And then he comes with this head sculpt with his tongue out. This is not the Venom head repainted, for anyone that has been wondering that. It is a brand new sculpt. Again, soft in comparison to the rest of the figure. Some more paint would have definitely made it better. Now, he does come with 4 different sets of these little tendrils here that plug into the back. They are articulated in certain areas, not very much. It's just a single hinge, but yeah, here are the other 2. And then with these, once you plug them on, that's when you can attach all of the other accessories, such as this little, I guess, I don't know, like a knife type of thing where he can just hack you in half. He comes with 2 of them. Then he comes with this thing right here where you can say he's impaling you. He comes with another impaler, and then he comes with another impaler. So yeah, a ton of these crazy weapons. I do wish he would have came with like a hammer one, but I think he only uses that in the comics. I don't think he did that in the movie. It also would have been cool to get like the double saw where he kind of makes it like this and his hand is like in the center. That would have been dope too, but it is what it is. All of these plug onto the tendrils and they work very well. And then if you want to see what he looks like with some of the accessories attached, here you guys go. This is a few of them right here. Now, as you can see, you can attach the hands onto the tendrils, and then you can attach these little effect pieces right here onto the hands. So, like, you can make some crazy stuff happen with this figure. Now, just imagine if instead of using his hands, he used a tendril to make a fist and punch you. Like, that's mad disrespectful, bro. Carnage will have to catch me outside if he did something like that. But the fact that you can attach the hands to the tendrils, I'm going to have so much fun with this. It's going to be a lot of craziness going on. Now, to finally bring into perspective just how huge this figure is, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts movie Venom. We have my boy Stranger Things Bandai America Big Vec. He's a symbiote to me, damn it. And then we also have Marvel Legends Carnage as well, and I believe this is from Absolute Carnage. So, as you guys can see, he's towering over all of these figures. Now, if that wasn't enough to prove anything, here he is standing next to a couple of import Spider-Man. We have the SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We have the Metacom Toy or Mafex Black Suit Spider-Man. And the Metacom Toys Comic Book Spider-Man. Again, towering over all of these figures. Next up, here he is standing next to the Spider-Man figures from the Marvel Legends No Way Home Slightly Good, Slightly Bad 3-pack. We have him standing next to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield, and of course the Tom Holland. Last but not least, for some extras, here he is standing next to a McFarlane Toys symbiote. I don't know what this is. It's something from Spawn. We have him standing next to a Marvel Legends Deluxe Vulture. This is from Spider-Man Homecoming. And then we also have him standing next to a Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows 2-pack Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this guy, first off, I gotta be honest with you. Once you get him all posed up with all the accessories and everything, he's definitely fun to mess around with. This figure is really a joy to have, and I do mean that. But I would like it probably about 10-15 times more if he was actually about maybe 5.5 inches to 6 inches tall, around the height that Cletus Cassidy actually is in the comics. Then I would really enjoy this figure. Same exact figure, just scaled differently. I would love it so much more, but that's not something I can complain about because, again, this is accurate to the movie. Now, other than that, the only issue I really have with this guy is the lack of shading and paintwork around the eyes. Now, if you're someone who saw that in the prototype images and that sold you the figure, then I'm going to be honest with you, man. Once you get it in hand, you will be very disappointed because that issue is universal. Every single one one of these I've seen, it is missing that extra paint. Why? I have no idea. I can't believe Tamashii Nations would completely disregard something that they showcased and something that was accurate to the movies. It's almost like they ran out of paint making this guy or something. But still, overall, I mean, the only other issue I have with it is that sometimes that right leg on mine pops off, but I believe that's just based on the engineering. It's not that much of a problem. I have posed it around quite a bit, and it doesn't fall off often, but it does fall off a bit more than the left leg. Now, granted, it's a $130 figure, $150 figure. It shouldn't be happening, but I'm not going to complain as long as it's not something that's constant. If something like that will bother you, then hey, you can see it as a personal gripe. But this is just me. This is my review we're talking about here. Sorry about the background noise. But anyway, I hope that you guys did enjoy this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, as that always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.